88.9 WERS. My name is Nina, and I'm here live with Jagwar Ma. How are you guys?
Good.
Excellent.
Good.
Do you want to introduce yourselves?
Yeah, I'm Gabriel.
I'm Jono.
I'm Jack.
And we are Jagwar Ma. You want us to do that bit?
And we are da 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 da.
Yeah.
So you guys came, well, you've been traveling and on tour, but originally you guys are from Australia, yeah?
Yes.
Okay. So what are some main differences you find between Australia and America? I mean, I know there's some obvious ones, but do you feel like it's pretty jarring going from country to country, or no?
There's just so many people here. It's so
Yeah.
big. Like,
Yeah.
What's the population of the United States of America?
320 or something?
Something far too big for me to
Okay,
know.
Australia's
Yeah.
about 20 million. So,
Yeah.
like, you can't. And when you fly over it, and when you go from like state to state, you start to get a sense of just how big the United States is, like in terms of population and vastness.
Yeah.
So that's a huge difference.
Do you feel like for music there's certain trends very like prominent within Australia that aren't necessarily prominent in America?
I think from our experience, I mean, like, it's hard to sort of compare because obviously when you live in one place, you get to know a place a lot better and you find like the underground parts of it. Sort of. But the dance music scene is actually really quite advanced in Sydney where we grew up, I guess, because there was probably like about 10 years ago there was like a big boom in sort of club culture and DJ culture and band culture and electronic music was very much a part of the one world, and it kind of was operating a lot. But that's probably, you know, just familiarity, you know.
I think sometimes as well that places with sort of smaller populations can sometimes move quite quickly because it's only a small amount of people. But then, you know, when other communities and like other countries with the vast population pick up on something, once it like picks up, then it sort of takes off. But I don't know, I was like, you know, thinking of, say for example, like, I don't know, what would be a good example? Maybe even like what's happened like with Iceland or something in like the last sort of 15, 20 years, where you had sort of like that sound which almost exists across sort of. And it's because it's such a tight community of people, and like, I mean, we were there, and you guys just bumped into half of Sigur Rós just walking on the street.
And if, like the one person I know there is like does knitting class with Bjork, you know, it's like it's very tight.
Didn't you bump into the drummer from the Sugar Cubes as well? Just walking his baby.
Yeah.
Were you guys there for Iceland Airwaves? Or,
Yes,
okay.
yeah.
How was that?
It was incredible.
Yeah, Reykjavik was like probably one of the most out there cities.
It's
I've
more
ever been
magical
to.
than Disneyland.
Yeah,
like,
it's like
Disneyland is more real compared to.
I don't know
like,
if we were just lucky, but when we were there, the aurora borealis was out. So like at nighttime, like the sky is this kind of Technicolor green, red, swirly thing. It's just like it looks absolutely out of this world.
Let's talk about Cambridge and Boston again.
Yeah.
Yeah, Cambridge, we have a great aurora borealis.
Oh, yeah. In your kitchen, aurora borealis at this time of year. Anyway.
Yeah.
Well, for Australia, are there other bands that you feel like are kind of on the rise and about to blow up, or that you're really excited to see come into light that you guys know fairly well but haven't yet made it across the water?
I think there's
there's a bunch.
there's lots of really cool music, but I think that a lot of them are in sort of what you would describe as like an embryonic stage, and you kind of don't really want to disturb them before it's too soon. But there's a few. There's a few.
Like Jonty, who supported us on our most recent tour through Australia. He's actually signed to Stone's Throw, which is, you know, the LA hip hop label. And yeah, he's working on another record. He's already put out 2, and the next record I've heard bits and pieces of it and worked on parts of it with him, and it sounds incredible. There's another friend of ours, Dreams, which is Dreems. He's got a record that he's about to put out on a sub-label of Turbo, which is the Tiga's electronic label from Canada. Black Vanilla, you know those guys more.
Black Vanilla is like a trio, but they're an example of something that's like so fresh and so
You don't
kind
wanna,
of
like,
I don't want to
like
I think their name I think
just
their
dropped
name
it,
might
so-
change. and I wrote we had to write articles in the NME about things that we were watching, and I was like, I wrote about that, and they're like, we changed our name, and I was like,
Well, Guer's the main sort of connection there. GU
Yeah,
W-E-R-R-E.
spelled like war.
Yeah, great.
It's French for war.
And we
Terrible
can't
thing.
forget Kieran J. Callanan, who's another mate from Sydney.
Yeah, he was at South by Southwest just recently
he's on
and
Terrible.
tore it up there. Yeah.
You know Terrible. That
Terrible,
label?
which is Grizzly Bear's label, now with Excel as well. So, yeah, he's just put an album out called Embracism, and yeah, he's a one-man band basically. Or he actually has an accompaniment now, but it's all about him. He has a gimp on stage with him. It's all about him. Like, he's like a virtuoso guitar player, but like tweaks it out with, like, he has like 30 effects pedals, and he's like looping stuff and like playing percussion on his guitar with delays, and it's like really out of this world.
Awesome. And when you guys started, was the first song that you made as a band "Come Save Me"?
That's correct.
Okay, so what was that like? Because that that song is like one of your biggest, if not like your big hit. So what was it like making it, where the first song that you actually got together and tried to make wound up being so successful?
Well, it was great because that was kind of the impetus to start a band. It was like, because Gab and I, we were in separate bands in Sydney, and we were playing with each other a lot at the same venues, same gigs, and then, you know, it was just like on a whim that we were like, well, let's make music together, and that just happened so naturally that it was a great thing to do at the beginning of a trying to avoid the word career, but you know what I'm saying.
Yeah, no.
It's been a bit of a journey.
It was rad because it was like, I don't know, it was just very natural. I think
It just
that's
injected
rad.
loads of life and energy into this project from the beginning, and it just gave it this huge sort of push, and it was like made everything after that a lot easier, because previous bands, we'd done that slug it out, like play loads of like crappy venues all over Australia, and you kind of didn't quite get through. And we put out "Come Save Me," and suddenly there was like
Hit the
people
ground running.
hit the ground running. People in the UK going, "Wow, this is great," and so it just gave it a lot of energy from the beginning, and we've just kind of been putting more energy into it since then.
And then, so you guys got a lot of press after that from NME and people who started comparing you to like Primal Scream and Beach Boys and stuff like that a lot, which I feel like in a way seems like it got, not annoying, but just like started to be a little bit like deadbeat, so to speak, because everyone kept bringing up these bands.
Yeah.
But it made me think, whenever artists get the chance to go on BBC and they do like a Radio 1 mix or something like that, and it gives artists a chance to showcase kind of where they've gotten their influences and where they almost want to head in the future. If you guys were able to get like a set like that, or put up a mixtape of things that you've drawn from and that you hope to sound like in the future, what would you put on that?
Did you do a Radio 1 mix like 2 days ago?
Yeah, we've done loads of mixes and playlists.
But I wouldn't necessarily say that that's entirely accurate, because normally Jono makes the mixes more from like a DJ perspective,
exactly.
not
And
as like a band mixtape.
Yeah, and when you do a mixtape, you kind of, it's about what you listen to at that moment more than what influenced you as a musician, which is basically starting from, when you're a child.
Yeah, it's a way bigger.
So yeah, the kind of range that we, I guess, draw inspiration on is so much larger than what you can compile into a mix, yeah.
Well, thank you again for stopping by and talking with us. Once again, I'm Nina with 88.9 WERS. Thanks.
Thank you very much.